Then we go next to the connection club. Well, the connection club is this right here. It is a piece of wood that is, I believe it is, I'm not sure if it's 18 ounces or 21 ounces. I forget. I think it's more like 18 ounces. But whatever it is, it's less than 24 ounces. And it is about a foot long. And the whole purpose of this is to keep the barrel of the ball of the stick above the hands as we throw it, and it keeps us from all sorts of mechanical inefficiencies. Now, how did we actually get to that position? Well, a pitcher by the name of Andrew McKirahan, who was drafted by the Chicago Cubs. He played his baseball at the University of Texas and played his professional baseball with the Cubs, the Marlins, the Braves, and the Reds. When Andrew McKirahan had a lot of arm issues, a lot of pain, and was really what we consider a 4A pitcher. That means it's AAA, major league, and he was bouncing up and down, and he just couldn't stay healthy. And so he wanted to give it one more try. He came here to the Texas Baseball Ranch and tried to find his way. He'd heard that we do a lot of good things with arm health and helping people reduce their arm pain so that they could throw harder and throw longer and bounce back better and all so on and so forth. And so he was training with us here, and we were having one heck of a time finding a throw, and I'm going to say this very carefully so that it's the important part, finding a throw for him that did not hurt. In other words, throwing a baseball hurt, throwing a weighted ball hurt, throwing a football hurt less. So we were really challenged to trying to find a way. And so first of all, let me back up a little bit. First of all, we did some, he'd had Tommy John. He was coming back from it. And so we had him tested and an MRI, and he had there was nothing wrong structurally, but he was still having pain. So that said to me, well, there's something that we can do for this because there is nothing wrong structurally, but there must be something from a movement pattern standpoint that was actually was a catalyst for this pain. And that's the reason we were trying to find a throw that was not painful. And we tried a bunch of things. And eventually we got down to a 2 and 4 pound ball from a very limited perspective, which is, we call it a Marshall, which is just a simple rotation, and a football, throwing a regulation football, had the least amount of stress. There was still just some slight there, but it wasn't bad. And so we're trying to find ways to be able to throw for him and ramp it back up and then eventually get to the baseball and hopefully get him back into the major leagues. I was having no luck one day trying to find something that did not hurt. My son Garrett was training at the time. He was probably 16, 17 years old, and he had a one-arm bat. And I just picked it up and I said, "Here, throw this." I was out of ideas, actually, and I just handed it over to him, and he took it and he threw it, and he goes, "Whew, that felt good." And the very next second, I got a call on my cell phone. I stepped outside of the building to take it. It was from my wife. And I don't remember what the conversation was, but it took about 5 or 6 minutes. I came back in the barn, and remember I told you that previously that he could not find a throw that didn't hurt, at least a little bit. And I come in to find him running down the lane and then throwing the one-arm bat into the pad as hard as he could. And that was stunning to me because everything else he had kind of thrown was like trying to find something that didn't hurt. And now I walk into the barn and, you know, band the hatches, he was just letting it eat. And he turns around to me, and I will say the colorful language, but he says, "This is awesome, it doesn't hurt." And so the first thing he said to me is, "Why, Ron, why did this not hurt?" And I said, "You got me. I don't know. We'll figure it out together. But right now, the most important thing is that it does not hurt." And so he went and I allowed him to have the one-arm bat. And then I called Mr. Oates and I said, "Well, I don't know if you have access to purchasing one-arm bats, but I would say this might be something that we need to look into." Mr. Oates then got back to us, and then there was Randy Sullivan, who was obviously a physical therapist in Tampa. He was the Florida Baseball Ranch at the time. Now it's called the Florida Armory. And he and I kind of worked on this together, and we both gave input on this, and we eventually came up with this. I started with just a stick with a kind of a weighted ball on the end, and we kind of threw it. It was kind of a wand, and then we went to this, and this became what we ended up with. And after several different variations, and then of course the ranch staff was very helpful in doing it as well. And lo and behold, I thought this was a very odd case. You know, Andrew was very unique, and I didn't know how often the Connection Club would be beneficial. And the more that we used it, the higher and higher percentage of people that used it began to like it. Now, there were some, just like the connection ball, didn't care for it very much, but there were a certain percentage, and I would say probably 60 to 65% of people really like it, and about immediately liked it. They said it felt really good, and another 15% on top of that eventually liked it, and there was obviously about 20%, 25% that never liked the Connection Club, but that changed a lot of things. And we have found that not only a connection ball in the 1, 2, and 3 has been very helpful, and the Connection Club has been very helpful, but now, several years into it, the combination of a connection ball and the club being used in the ball in the 1 and the club, or the ball in the 2 and the club, is their favorite. So we've found some other hybrids that are equally as beneficial, and so the benefits of the club and the ball keep expanding because now we're using them in cooperation and connection with each other. So that was the Connection Club. The one thing that I want to mention to everyone is the barrel. When we're doing this, it is really important that the barrel stays above your hand the whole time. I'm going to play this about 3 or 4 times through, and I just want you to watch the barrel as he does this and why he keeps the barrel above the hands. And that has been very helpful.